Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Distinguished moderators and panelists, officials from ministries and government agencies, delegates from the APEC SME Working Group, participants from APEC member economies, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greetings from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Welcome to the second day of the APEC workshop on inclusive business, charting the path for shared prosperity through inclusivity. Exclusively brought to you by the Ministry of Entrepreneur and Cooperatives Development, MECD, through SME Corp Malaysia, live virtually from Kuala Lumpur. For those who have just joined the workshop, we wish you a very warm Selamat Datang, welcome. And to those who were with us yesterday, welcome back. Today, we have especially lined up for you 3 panel discussions with very invigorating topics, which will discuss more insights on various aspects of IB. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us now begin with the first session. The first panel discussion today will talk about empowering women through inclusive business. Allow me to introduce our guest moderator and panelists for the session. Let us welcome our moderator, Ms. Anja Julia Abu Bakar, patron of the Inclusive Entrepreneur Association Malaysia. A little bit about Ms. Anja is that Ms. Anja Julia Abu Bakar is the founder and social impact director of Athena Holdings Sindiran Berhad, which is a social enterprise company established in 2015 that manufactures and distributes eco-friendly sanitary products and promotes eco-friendly lifestyle. Athena eliminates the experience of physical discomfort and is a natural solution for personal care. As a social entrepreneur, Ms. Anja was listed as Malaysia's top 10 female social entrepreneurs in 2016, and in the same year, she was invited to the SE Forum in Stockholm, Sweden, and came back as an SE guest mentor in 2017. She is also a recipient of Star Malaysia Golden Heart Awards in 2017. In 2019, Ms. Anja was invited to the White House in Washington, D.C. by Ms. Ivanka Trump, who was the advisor to the President of the United States of America for her work in women economics empowerment. She founded Sisterhood Alliance, which is registered as an advocate to social change by empowering young girls with life skills education. Currently, Ms. Anja coaches companies that wish to switch their business model from the conventional to the social enterprise model, and since 2016 has mentored close to 100 startups in the social enterprise ecosystem. It is now with great honor that I would like to pass the floor to Ms. Anja to invite and introduce our panelists for this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Intan. Okay. Assalamualaikum and very good morning. We are equally fortunate to have our 2 excellent speakers here today. So it is now my honor to introduce our speakers for panel discussions empowering women in inclusive business. The panel of speakers will discuss about women participation in inclusive business, which from now on will be mentioned as IB, and how IB empowers them in providing their livelihood alongside the surrounding community. To begin with, what is inclusive business? Well, according to the World Bank's definition, inclusive business is a private sector approach to providing goods, services, and livelihood on a commercially viable basis. IB expands access to goods, services, and livelihood opportunities for low-income people to step into new roles as suppliers, as distributors, as retailers, or as customers. Not only do low-income people benefit when this business provide greater access to basic goods, services, and livelihood, the business benefit as well. In other words, IB are helping businesses turn underserved populations into dynamic consumer markets and diverse new sources of supply. So ladies and gentlemen, we will also look into on existing and ongoing initiatives related to IB in empowering women socially and economically. We will highlight on IB practices that requires company to be aware of their social and economic impact in the society, as well as understand the sustainable benefit to providing more opportunities for women in their value chain. So I shall now introduce you to our panelists. Let me start with Ms. Pasita Juan, President and Co-Chair of Philippine Coffee Board, the Philippines. EcoStore was founded by 3 women who wanted to propagate environmental friendly living by introducing natural and eco-friendly products. EcoStore adopted diversification and its business strategy while championing inclusive business as their business model. Ms. Pasita Juan has started many businesses, and among them are a coffee shop chain, a Filipino quick service restaurant, a farm-to-table restaurant, and a natural and organic store called EcoStore. She is a strong advocate of slow food, organic farming, and sustainable agri-based businesses. She is also the president and co-chair of the Philippine Coffee Board, Inc., and past chair of the ASEAN Women Entrepreneur Network, or AWEN. She is currently the president of the Next Gen Organization of Women Corporate Directors, NOWCD, and a trustee of the Philippines Women Economic Network. And now, Ms. Mary Jim, Managing Director, Everlasting Muse, Sendian Berhad, Malaysia. Ms. Mary Jim established Everlasting Muse in 2007 in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, as a training provider. Its vocational training center, the SWET Academy, addresses especially the demand for training for tourism, especially spa therapies, hospitality, and creative industries. The training focuses on the B40 community, school dropouts, single mothers, and the unemployed youth. In 2014, Ms. Mary Jim also founded a social enterprise sales platform for local handicraft products called MJ by Moose, producing community products such as handbags, modern ethnic apparels, tourism products. In addition, she also runs a handicraft and beauty center business. The training of the spa therapists and the artisans cost is partly funded by the company itself. She has been active in community work with villagers, artisans, youth in advocating for women empowerment through businesses in the rural area in Sabah. And she is also actively involved in training, strengthening, and promoting local products produced by different communities in Sabah. Wow, very impressive. And I really look forward to learn from these 2 ladies, amazing ladies. So now that I have introduced our speakers, both Ms. Pasita and Mary will share the extent to which women are involved in IB and highlights the challenges faced by them. They will also deliberate on the correlation between empowerment and leadership in relation to women participation in IB. So let me first ask you, Ms. Pasita.
Good morning.
Yeah, Manila, we have the same time zone, right?
Yes,
10 a.m.
time zone. Yes, that's
right.
right.
Okay, my first question. As a social entrepreneur, Pasita, green advocate, coffee crusader, and advocate for women empowerment through business, how does women leadership drive change in communities that you have been working with?
Oh, good morning to everyone. And I'm so happy to be joined by Anja and Mary and hearing your bios. We are all social entrepreneurs. And so I would like to start my sharing by saying that Echo Store, the business model was really based on environment for E, community for C, H is to give them hope, and O is organization. As we have the APEC, we have SME Corp, we have other NGOs that we need to collaborate with because we cannot act alone. So when we spelled that, ECHO, it's spelled echo. And our partner said, but we're a store. So I volunteered. Then we call ourselves Echo Store. And after that, we had Echo Market, Echo Cafe, Echo, Ecosi Foundation. So you talked about my roots in coffee. And these are the women producers of coffee, which I'm sure we also have in Malaysia and the rest of ASEAN, where we can empower them simply by suggesting to them what the market wants. The market wants good coffee. So we conduct trainings. So those are my two partners with me in one of our stores. We conduct trainings to make them add value to their products because along with coffee, you have vegetables, you have fruits, and vegetables and fruits are highly perishable. So we teach them to make them into pickles, to make them into jams, which can then extend the life of these fruits and vegetables. Okay, so that is one of our stores. Also, of course, this was before the pandemic when we had more than our online store, and that's coffee. We're selling chocolate. We're selling the jams, and our store would be the retailer for this product. So there I am teaching in a faraway town. This is about 3 hours away, 4 hours away from the metro. And this is up in the mountains where they grow coffee and fruits and vegetables. So we continue to do this along with our partner. Rina is our operations person and she's the cook. I can't cook, but I can eat. But she's the one who teaches the women farmers what to do with their produce by adding value and making sure our market in Eco Store can understand. So that is also, we work with the local government units. On the left is the wife of the mayor of the town, because you need also the local government support when you try to help their women. And we're very lucky to have found in Miss Josie a very, very supportive local leader. So these are some of the gift packs we do for holidays, and it's in our online store. So we mix products like coffee and cacao, sugar. We have rice, which became essentials during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, when we stopped the face to face, we had to go online. So we even had to share about mental wellness. We also did continued our training on product development and assessment. So the women will send their products and we would teach them online. So we continue like with coffee, cacao, coconut. We work mostly with women producers. So now this is our little store. After the pandemic, we minimized our risk because being social entrepreneurs, we cannot afford. So we reduced the footprint of our stores, but we did a lot of migration into the online space. So pretty much you can see there from the producer to the retailer, that's what Echo Store does. And so our main objective in putting up our business to be inclusive is market access for the producers who are mostly women. And I can answer other questions, Anja, as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you, Pasita. Well, I can see that you do involve a lot of people from various communities, even from the mayor to the organization, and where you have experts teaching these women how in what ways they can also promote their products, and from producer become retailers, and you also provide market access to them. Wow. Okay, now I move to Mary Jim. So to you, Mary, looking at the tourism-related business line that you have in Kota Kinabalu, how many villages or artisans that you have been working with, and would you consider expanding to engaging communities in other parts of Sabah? We can hear you, Mary.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Anja, again, and a very good morning to everyone. I'm Mary Jim. So, asking to your question, currently, the villages that we are empowered since 2007, I think about more than 2,000 people, including youth, women in poverty, before the community, school dropouts, single mothers, and those less fortunate group. So we put them into a two segmentation. One segmentation is we put them into employment and income generation group. Yeah. So from the number that we will open to work with more community out there. All right. So to answer your question in more specific, now we are dealing with more than 100 community or artisan to supply to tourism product. All right. To follow to our spec, like we put in a certain standard, colors, and of course we also creating a product that suits to the demand from the market. All right. So with that, we also grateful that we have the support of our local agencies, government agencies, NGO, and also a corporate sector, and in making sure the IB business model a reality. Yeah. Having said that, it's not an easy journey though, but we managed to push this product through as our objective to create an economy impact to our women in Sabah. Yeah, most of them are from the rural area. Yeah. So this is on picture shown here. We for the employment side, we train the underprivileged community school dropout in various skills to put them into a job placement, where we train them and we link them to the collaborative partners who are dealing with spa and tourism and hospitality business. So we connect them to the real stakeholders so that their welfare being taken care of. Yeah, since they are coming from the rural area, so there is way our function SWAP Academy to really collaborate with the real stakeholder to put them into job placement. All right. So for the income generation, so in the picture also, this is how we do our community empowerment. You train communities to develop their skills and also talent to fulfill what the market need at this time in fashion, handicraft, and accessory. Back then in Sabah, we have a lot of ethnicity and a lot of local product that we can push forward into the market with a certain standard. Yeah, and we acquire a lot of demand from that from this as well. So this is how we connect and we train our own people and to be more inclusive, and also not only train, we also guide and take their product, to put into the market. Because in Sabah, we have a lot of those who have talented people, so-called, but we still need to polish in some area, and so that we can produce a product that we can push through. Yeah. So so this is some of the products that we include in our store. We have a store called MJ by Mus in Penampang, where most of them are social enterprise and homemakers. So after we train them, and then we take back their product and then put into our store. And we also train the community leaders, like what in the pictures, on how they can connect and how they can lead their own community in the village. So you will call them to our office and teach them on some of inclusive business model and how social enterprise can help to develop our SE ecosystem here in Sabah. Yeah. So I think, I can answer more questions. So this is some of it. Quite recently, we embarked into a herbal planting, and we also produces the products. Our center become a collection center where we can collect and we can invite those businesses who would like to buy their raw products and transform it into a commercial product. Yeah. So in the picture, this is me. You see me, and giving a talks and training to a women far away from town. Some of the journey we took about 7, 8, or even 10 hours to reach at the village. So that is our function, and being an inclusive business entity here in Sabah. So back to you, Anja.
Well, I'm so admire you, but I mean, listening to your vision that you want to make IB as a reality. Well, I mean, all the best, and I really want to see myself also being part of that to support and make IB as a reality. And I like that you have, I mean, not only train them, you have met the demand from outside and be involved in getting the right product with right colors to meet the demands from outside, and that the community itself, that you groom them to become social enterprise so that it will benefit the community as a whole, which leads me to my next question to you, Mary. When I hear that you mentioned about I mean, women, about the dropouts, and what inspire you to engage them, this inclusive community, including the B40 community and the unemployed youth, to be integrated in your business?
Okay, thank you, Anja, again. Actually, I'm a person who came from the background where be at that, in poverty. So that from there, my vision is to see happening on the grassroots level is that they're able to uplift their livelihood, especially covering and putting all their children into school. Better access for the education, better economy, and also opportunity to improve their livelihood like I do. So in order to make things happen, we innovate the working process to start with what they have and maximize it. My commitment is actually to promote the what we call that, the training, and also to bring and give them information. Yeah. So from there, that is the reason being why, I'm really, really put my heart into this. It is because I want to see my orang kampung, my peers or my community improve and, can be as, like I do, or even more further like I do. So that is actually the drive that pushed me, to be in this what we call that segmentation as well. So I would like also to see women and children have a better education so that they can improve their livelihood and also can bring an economic impact in their kampong while doing and maintaining our relationship and still do collaboration to pursue this inclusive business model forward.
Okay, so
over to you, Anja.
Yeah, I can hear your big why you are so passionate in educating this group of, communities, because it's actually mirroring you. You want to see them grow and providing more support and within learning and development. Thank you, Mary. So honored to have you. And now back to Pasita. Similar like Mary, and how EcoStore strategize the IB in the operation to achieve or what you have achieved so much today. Pasita? Pasita, can you hear me?
You. I hope you can hear me too.
Yes, I can hear you now. So how EcoStore strategize IB in the operation to achieve what you have achieved today?
Well, we continue to, I would say, nurture our connections, even during
We lost you. Is it my line or Pasita's line?
Is that better?
Yes, now better. Yeah, you may continue. Pasita, are you there? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
It's a holiday and it's not cooperating with me.
Yeah, that's one of the challenge. Yeah, we didn't hear you. Pasita? Or should I go back to Mary while waiting for Pasita to, get her network? Pasita? All right.
Is this better?
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, I had to change my channel. Sorry,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Yeah.
So shall we proceed
Sure,
with
sure.
me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, with all due respect, Mary, what is important is that even during the pandemic, we did not leave our producers. What is important is we continued our trainings, even if it was done digitally or virtually, so that they will not lose that hope. And we even had to come up with new modules like digital photography, like digital marketing, which were not in our modules before. We had to pivot our training of our communities to something that was practical during the years that we were on lockdown. So, almost every month, we would have sessions. And what I find most fulfilling is that we did not just look at business, but we also looked after their health,
Mm.
more particularly their mental wellness, because everybody was cooped up at home. They had no idea what was going to happen next. The vaccines had not reached their communities. Some were scared of vaccines because somebody had the vaccine and died. And so this spread all over the mountains and the provinces. And they started to get scared of getting any medical support. So we had to do a lot of calibration and a lot of balancing where we did not look just at the economic benefits to them, but the social benefits as well. And I think that is very important so that when everybody came back after the pandemic was controlled somewhat, now they are back and bringing their products to us. Now they are back and, of course, thanking us because aside from the pandemic, there were disasters, there were typhoons, there were floods. And so we would have to send help like rice or some money. But the important thing is to keep that connection, pandemic or not, disaster or without, we had to keep that connection. And we didn't have to tell them, oh, we are closing our stores in the malls, oh, the market is shrinking. But we just kept them going because I believe that for us who are in the city, we could manage things better because we were closer to public health care, we were closer to the vaccines, we were closer to information while they were left out in the dark.
Okay, wow. I hear you that you, part of your agenda is to nurturing the connections and that you have bring in a lot of new content, digital content, especially during the pandemic, and how to make sure that you are taking care of their well-being. So that is, I guess, is very important to ensure that they are stable mentally, as well as how you also providing support not only due to the pandemic, but of the other disasters. And but now that we have, back to normal, which is, I can also say new normal because 2 years, 3 years, we are, locked down and now back to adjusting ourselves back to the post-pandemic era. So how, where do you see, I mean, challenges for this community adapt to the, I mean, this so-called new normal or back to normal, and ensure that the eco store continues when you with the communities?
Well, my partners and I did some planning that we need to adapt to a new way of doing business, a new way of engaging our stakeholders. So the physical connection is there in that we still visit the communities, but we need to uh, make them go into other forms of income generating activities. For example, in one area where we get coffee, we have asked them to make eco tours so that they will not depend just on selling coffee or jams or vegetables to us, but on their own, we empower them by giving them the idea that agrotourism, ecotourism is also a way of getting regular income throughout the year. So we are also pivoting. I like to use the word pivot because you cannot end up in the same place. When you pivot, it must be different. So I gave them the example. We brought them to our farm. We have a farm, and we brought them there and showed them how does coffee grow. It starts with the seed, and before it gets to the cup, how are women involved? So we give them that example. Secondly, we transformed our vegetable garden into an herb, culinary, and medicinal garden so that they will have an idea, oh, I can do that too. Oh, so they do not see the farm just as a production area, but pivoting now to make it ecotourism. So that's how we have also managed their expectations that if we cannot get so many products from them, they can actually sell the products to tourists who go to their farms.
Wow. I hear the word innovation because, I mean, when you pivot, you actually instill some sort of innovations and you bring them to experience, I guess, experiential learning to see how, I mean, growing the plants and also, I mean, open them to a new ideas. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities out there that they can explore. Really, really love that, Pasita. And similar to you, Mary Jim, like what we heard shared by Pasita just now. I mean, they have, I mean, introduced new, I mean, pivoting the way that they deal or teaching or educating the communities. And what could be done from your side, Mary, to motivate and empower women to drive change in the particular community? Like how many communities have you actually involved in Sabah itself? I mean, of course, if there are like 2 or 3, they have different, I can say, persona, right? So how do you actually motivate them according to their individual, I can say, qualities? Sorry, can you unmute?
Again, I was muted. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you again, Anja. It's very, very, a good question. And I'm so passionate to answer to that because it's my passion on, how to empower another groups of women or community to be better themselves. So what is this actually that we do wanting to see, of course, we need to include this community to any empowerment programs. Yeah, they need to be an expert on how to be a good leader themselves by putting the clear direction on what they need in the present moment and what they want to see themselves in the 5 years time to come. So once they have aligned their mindset and understand the process of growing their businesses or better, mindset aligned with what we are doing. So they will duplicate the same system to their own community circle in the village or around them. And also it can be, motivate their own children and pass down to their children, and then the children also will be doing the same thing like they do, so what we do actually, what we have empowered, and what we do, our collaboration with the community, apart from training, we also include them to our empowerment program or in-house program. And as what Pasita has said, we might guide them on certain idea, but we also sharing them on the other idea on what they can do apart from supplying products, and making products from home, but what they can do as a whole, as a community based initiative in their own village, like what we've done during the pandemic. We supply the crops of and seedlings, herb seedlings, to the villages for them to plant the herbs, and help them to find the formula and teach them on how they can be a cost effective. For instance, from kampong, you just imagine their kampong is about 7 or 10 hours journey. So the problem is the logistic to carry out their product out to the town. So what we do, we innovate the process of supplying. For instance, we teach them on how they dry their products, so that the transport or the transport who's going to carry the what we call that, carry the herbs from the kampong is more accommodative, like cost effective. By knowing in Sabah the road wasn't that good enough for those in the rural area, so we all that kind of thing we put into in the mapping of how are we going to make this thing possible. So on our capacity, we link with the individual, who the community leader that we have trained to have the same synergy and mindset with us, instead of we are waiting the road to be fixed, to be good, to be new. What can we do? So with that, so we suit to the question, what can we do? So we train them to dry their herbs, and then we transport them out to the town, and then the finalization end product, we do it at our center in center, so that we package it so that we can meet the hygienic part. We can cover the what we call that, the standard of product that we would like to put into the market. And we also include them into the ecosystem, like they are the partners of the branding. So we're strengthening it one branding community, so that we can create more volumes to supply the market need and demand. And of course, our vision to see this community product branding will push to the international market, in the future.
Okay.
I think I answer your question, Anja.
Yeah, I like that, where you also have introduced innovation part, where you also improve the supply chain, the processes. That's the most important, where it will be more cost effective. That both you and Pasita, where I can see both of you really active in networking as well, in introducing the products, because you want to have this new, introduce this brand made by the community. But before I go to next questions, I will invite participants to feel free to post your questions in the Q&A box. And I see one question by Ronald Lieno. But the question is answered by Pasita. Well, I just read the question, Ronald asked, how do Philippines government agency provide financial support for business women? And Pasita said there's a low interest loans, and the loan interest is around unsecured is about 12%. What does this mean, Pasita?
Anja, to add to that, I want to share this, that in the Philippines, we also have support for MSMEs from the Department of Science and Technology, where there is an interest-free loan an interest-free loan for 3 years, and you can borrow, I think about $20,000, let's say, uh, and there is no interest as long as you will use it to improve your business. Like you will buy an equipment, because it's about technology. So if you add technology, if you will add a machine or an equipment that will make your business better, then there is an interest-free loan. For women, although we have windows for MSMEs, which can be availed of by women also, uh, there are loans that are for working capital, but this would be limited. Like for example, for agribusiness, maybe about 6,000 US dollars, just for working capital. So there is a lot of loan facilities. But of course, at the end of the day, women need to keep their records, because any institution that will lend you money will need to know how you can pay it back. And the way that we can prove that we can pay it back is if we keep our records of our finances. A lot of small businesses, especially micro, do not bother to keep accounting records or declare income. In the Philippines, even if we are a small business, we have to file an income tax return, whether we will pay taxes or not, whether we are exempted or not. We need to show government, hey, we exist. And by the way, this is how my business did this year. Every lending institution will ask for 3 years history. But sadly, a lot of women don't bother, a lot of MSMEs for that matter, do not bother to keep records. Second, you have to be registered as a business. Even if you are a sole proprietor or a small corporation, the government must know that you exist if you are in the register of the Department or Ministry of Trade, if you are registered with your village or what we call a barangay. You must have some sense of formality as a business enterprise, no matter how micro you are. And I think that's what we also teach women. The women we train. Why women? Because we also work with multilaterals, and we work with governments like Canada. We have a great women project, and under that, the women cannot get to be a beneficiary if they do not even have a registered business. So it's really teaching people how to formalize a micro business, because it's only in being formalized and recognized by government that you can also be the beneficiary of government support.
Wow. I mean, like 30,000 zero interest for 3 years, that's really big. I mean, I believe in Malaysia, we have like up to 10,000 ringgit, not $30,000, for zero interest. I not sure how the agencies in Malaysia works on I mean, providing this zero interest fee. And I like, Pasita, when you said that, I mean, educating these women, not only the importance of financial literacy to these women entrepreneurs, but empower them to take action in the importance of recording, filing, and to pay tax if necessary. I mean, of course, that's the high value outcome if we able to make them to be able to pay tax. Yeah, I mean, like, really empower them financially to take the action. And I hear both of you that I mean, as a community leader, as the one that help market the products of their community, how I mean, networking really important as a for other business or community leader out there. that in helping promoting the products. This is before I go to the last questions. Yeah, just just want to hear the importance of networking, expand your network locally, and also international. Like Pasita, yeah, you go like all over the world. And I guess that these people know about eco shops. And Mary, you also have these responsibles in promoting the local products. So maybe share one tips that why networking is important.
For me, thank you
Mary,
again,
you can go
Anja.
ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. I'll move first. Yes, the networking is really, really important though. It is because when we network enough, we not only network within our community or our society, but it is important for us to network with the government official, the corporate sectors, as well as the internal delegates or the international peers who can, know your story better, and they can, hey,
Mm.
look, I know this girl who is actually helping their women to grow with her. So they did a lot of this and that. So from the words of the promotions or the story that inspire them, that is a business already. So I really, really believe on the power of networking. So for me, I'll be involved in many international organizations such as the Lion Club, be involved in the Rotary Club International as well, the Asian Business Circle, things like that. It's just to by sharing what you do, that is a keyword for you to promote yourself already and your organization. So this is one thing that I feel that is very, very important for us small business owners, MSMEs, or
Mm.
community leader to be involved and to be engaged with this kind of networks. Yeah,
Yes.
so that is what I do. And to connect with people and to connect with the network that I've been knowing all over my journey as of a local, a women entrepreneur who would like to take the inclusive business is the main objective to push not only the business but the people forward. Yeah.
Mm. Thank you, Mary. How about you, Pasita?
Well, as you said, I am all over the place.
Yeah.
uh, what what really helped me was one in APEC. I have always been active since 2007 with the APEC Women Leaders Network, all the way to our hosting of APEC in 2015 for the Philippines. So we did the APEC Women Summit. And then, of course, in ASEAN from 2014, we are connected through the AWEN, the ASEAN Women Entrepreneur Network. So it's important not to just meet people when there is an occasion, but to keep in touch. And with today's
Yes.
technology, there's WhatsApp, there's Facebook, there is Line, Viber, and even in WhatsApp, I just shared our pictures today of our workshop so that my sisters all around ASEAN and APEC can find it. Maybe they will tune in, maybe say, "Oh, what is Pasita talking about again?" And we like to connect, especially with APEC and all the economies. I
Mhm.
have gone to South
Yeah.
America because of APEC. I've gone to China because of APEC. And I really value the connections I have made through APEC. It, I think the key is giving of yourself. The
Yeah.
key is to also give time and not just take. It is not
Yeah.
about taking what you can get, but it is also in sharing.
Also.
What you think is common to you is an aha for others. So, uh, giving a little of your time, 45 minutes, 1 hour, can mean the world to someone who's never heard the idea before. But to you, it's so ordinary. So I think getting involved by also sharing is very important. So giving and not just taking. Thank you.
Thank you, Pasita. And I guess one word to describe what both of you shared is the word visible. I mean, you are taking up the role, and like what Pasita said just now, you also share giving. I like that word, giving. And I also believe when you visible, people start to know you. And when they start to know you, they will start to like you. That's where it will form a trust. And from trust, that's where the money comes. I mean, or maybe opportunity comes to both of you. And of course, it will benefit the communities. And since we have like 10 more minutes to go, I can pursue to the last question final question to both of you. Maybe to Pasita first. What is your personal perspective on championing inclusive business and impact that you would love to see in the future?
Well, I've been a women empowerment advocate, as I said, since I joined the APEC Women Leaders Network back in 2007. And I got exposed to opportunities for women that are not being tapped. For example, in coffee, so this is something I pursued, and I still am pursuing to this day. And then uh, I think what we hope for in the future is for our younger generation to learn about diversity and inclusion, to appreciate, the role that women can play in uh, our specific economies, and to maintain women's leadership roles, not just in enterprises, but also in boardrooms and in public listed companies.
Okay, thank you so much. And to you, Mary Jim, what do you wish to do more if you could within your own capabilities?
Thank you. For that, I think I would like to see more women to be involved in empowering others as well, like I do, creating more opportunity on the grassroots level so that they can move from the grassroots to another level, and making sure that they are able to create their own opportunity to massively improve their livelihood while they are still having the great relationship with us. Means even though they are already be the leader themselves, we still connect to one another to make it a fruitful or even more a big things in the society around us. So through the better understanding, I believe the business will grow faster, and also will give a lasting motivation to the target group. We targeted all this marginalized, underprivileged, and all that, so that they could also impact life to others. So I will continuously support women and hope I can bring more women and duplicate more women like me all forward. So that is I really wanting to see happen in the Sabah, and also in Malaysia, and so that we can also visible ourselves to say, look at that, look at this lady, she make things happen with a small what the power will in her that she want to change. So yeah, I would like to see more women involved in the empowering their grassroots as well. Yeah, thank you, Anja.
Thank you so much, Pasita and Mary Jim. I mean, your sharing really, I learned a lot from your sharing, and I hope our participants learn a lot as well. And where the term visible is very important in educating our community and women out there, and how you have over the few years promoting inclusive business and as eye-opener to other business owners or business women out there to also pursue or follow the track. And I guess I don't see any questions coming, and maybe I shall pass back to Intan. Once again, thank you, Pasita and Mary.
Thank you, Ms. Anja, and our distinguished panelists for the powerful discussion on the topic of empowering women through IB. I think if you put a group of women with like-minded passion, we can talk until tomorrow. In fact. But unfortunately, we have to move on to the next session. But before we end our session, I'd like to request for Ms. Anja, Ms. Pasita, and Ms. Mary Jim to look at the camera just for a quick screenshot. So on the count of 3, give us your biggest smile. 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you very much, Miss Anja, Miss Pasinta, and Miss Mary Jim for your time and being with us
Thank
today.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.